I vacate the belt because I told him that I wouldn't fight in 145 again, but I get the promise that I would fight for the title. I have so many things against Islam that he's gonna have some hard time with me, and something he knows and we all know is that the only thing I need to, it's one punch, and you know for sure that I'm gonna connect that one punch because I don't throw my punches like a crazy, you know.
Featherweight king Ilia Topuria has drawn a line in the sand, stating no fight until he gets Islam Makhachev or he walks away. Meanwhile, Ariel Helwani revealed that a potential showdown between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev could take place as early as International Fight Week. He called it a massive, high-stakes matchup, the kind of blockbuster fight the UFC has been chasing for months, and believes it's more than worthy of headlining such a marquee event.
All signs from what I'm hearing seem to point to an Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev fight, perhaps as soon as International Fight Week. And if you ask me, that is International Fight Week worthy. That is a mammoth fight. That's a massive fight, and the kind of spark, the kind of big time fight that the UFC seems to have been searching for over the last couple of months. It would be gigantic, but it's not done. It is not signed, and Dana White said in his Instagram Live that, you know, when they have something to announce regarding Ilia Topuria, they will announce it.
Adding further context to this development, Helwani pointed out that the main reason behind Ilia Topuria potentially vacating his featherweight title is due to ongoing weight cutting struggles, suggesting the move up to lightweight is driven more by health and sustainability than opportunity alone.
What I'm hearing is it's a weight cutting issue. 145 is just getting to be a little too much. He wants to go up to 155. Feels like he's done everything that he can do, is interested in doing at 145. He has the win over Volkanovski, isn't all that blown away by the other options there, so he's going for the big dog at 155 pounds, and that's Georgia versus Russia. That's a gigantic fight. That is a mammoth fight. One of the biggest fights of the year. That's two of the most popular fighters in the sport.
Building on his excitement for the potential clash, Ariel Helwani further praised the bout and added, Ilia versus Islam is a gigantic fight. It's a fresh fight, it's a fun fight. There are so many great questions surrounding that fight. That's great for the sport. That's great for the UFC. Sign me up. I'm all in. Responding to the growing speculation, Dana White addressed the buzz around a potential clash between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, stating that there are still multiple possibilities on the table. He emphasized that a lot is happening behind the scenes, which is why no definitive announcement has been made yet. Dana also clarified that the decision to vacate the featherweight title was entirely Ilia's own choice.
Ilia Islam is the fight that we're sort of working towards, or could he be fighting?
There's still other possibilities, so there's a lot of going on right now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have said, no, he did that. He said, I've done everything I can do here. I'm ready to move up. And he vacated it. He said, I shouldn't be holding up anybody's opportunities. And, you know, it's always, I respect when guys do that.
Echoing that sentiment, Ilia Topuria confirmed this on Joe Rogan's podcast, stating that he vacated the belt because he told the UFC he would not be participating in the 145 division. He also revealed that he was promised a title fight in his next fight.
I vacate the belt because I told him that I wouldn't fight in 145 again, but I get the promise that I would fight for the title. They give that chance to everyone. Why not to me?
Yes.
They gave it to Henry Cejudo. They gave it to Conor McGregor. They gave it to George St. Pierre. They gave it to John. They gave it to everyone.
Right. Yep.
And I proved that I deserve that shot. As you said, I knock out
two of the all-time greats.
Two of the all-time greats. To the great Volk, who was like dominating everyone in 145 division, and Max Holloway.
However, Islam Makhachev dismissed the idea of a potential fight with Ilia Topuria, saying it wouldn't do much for his legacy. He referenced his past experience with Alexander Volkanovski, noting how those wins were downplayed because of his size advantage. Makhachev believes the same narrative would overshadow a victory over Topuria, with critics likely discrediting it for similar reasons, making the matchup unappealing from a legacy standpoint.
That makes sense. Give the chance third time from the same guy who come. If I beat the Volkanovski twice. People still say you beat small guy. Yeah. He's not your weight division. If I beat Topuria, it's gonna be same.
The same thing.
Everybody gonna talk same. But if I
Go up.
go up, takes a second belt, this is a legacy.
Turning his attention to his long-term ambitions, Islam Makhachev made it clear that his true legacy, in his eyes, won't be built by defending his title against smaller champions. Instead, the lightweight kingpin sees his path to greatness in moving up a weight class to claim a second world title.
If I
Go up.
go up, takes a second belt, this is a legacy.
Yeah.
I want to be like you know? Champ.
On the other hand, Ilia Topuria voiced confidence in his standing within the UFC, asserting that he won't need to go through a contender to earn a lightweight title shot. Speaking with conviction, the undefeated featherweight champion stated that his record and world title status should be more than enough to bypass any proving ground. According to Topuria, UFC president Dana White won't expect him to climb the ranks.
So would you fight an Arman before you go? Like, let's just say Dana says, I want you to fight Arman before you fight Islam. Would you entertain that?
He wouldn't tell me that.
He wouldn't tell you that.
No.
Dana would say Islam.
He would say for the belt.
He would say for the belt.
Yeah.
I think so as well, because you're undefeated.
Of course.
Yeah.
There's no way that I have to fight to the number one contender. I have to fight directly for the belt.
In addition, Ilia Topuria acknowledged that he isn't sure when a potential title bout with Islam Makhachev might become a reality, but he remains hopeful that it could take place by the summer or September. He expressed a strong desire to see the fight materialize soon, aiming for a showdown that would capture the attention of the MMA world.
I don't know. I hope in summer, maybe in September. I don't know. Whenever it happens, it's gonna be.
Further cementing his resolve, Ilia Topuria has made it clear he won't entertain a number one contender fight if the UFC denies him a title shot against Islam Makhachev. Unbothered by whether Makhachev accepts or not, Topuria said he's willing to wait it out, insisting the lightweight champ can't avoid him forever.
I said, till you're gonna have to fight me. Okay? You say that you are the world champion, you're gonna keep dominating the division, all that. I'm here. You can't keep avoiding me all the time.
So you would just sit on the sidelines rather than fight someone else?
I don't think that they're gonna do that. I get the promise that I would fight for the title in my next fight. So how much time you will stop me and from the fighting? And I prove that I deserve that shot. Once I pass him, I get the title, and you put me against Party.
Whereas Islam Makhachev made it clear that he's no longer interested in giving opportunities to smaller fighters like Ilia Topuria. While he acknowledged Topuria's skills, he sees little appeal in the matchup and believes it does nothing for his legacy.
No man, I'm tired to give chance the small guys, you know. I need my second belt, you know. It's nothing excited. He's a good fighter, he's a good skills fighter, but I don't want to give him chance, you know. I need second belt. They fight for what? For me, it's nothing. Just his name. I don't need his name. I need the belt.
Topuria expressed strong confidence ahead of a potential clash with Islam Makhachev, claiming he holds several advantages that would pose serious problems for the lightweight champion. He emphasized that Makhachev is well aware of the threat he brings, particularly his fight-ending power, insisting that one clean shot is all it would take.
I have so many things against Islam that he's gonna have some hard time with me, and something he knows and we all know is that the only thing I need it's one punch, and you know for sure that I'm gonna connect that one punch, because I don't throw my punches like a crazy, you know.
Joe Rogan offered high praise for Ilia Topuria, describing him as exceptionally fast and technically flawless, with no visible weaknesses. He suggested that while it may be early to declare him the best, Topuria's dominant performances are rapidly building that case.
Ilia goes up to 55. I don't care if he only defended the title one time or didn't.
Agree.
Who cares?
You want Ilia to fight Makhachev?
Let's go.
Oh.
Let's go.
Face a couple of those guys first, like you just said.
Yeah, it'd be nice, but also, who cares? Let's go. Let's
Meanwhile, adding another layer to the conversation, Belal Muhammad weighed in on the Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria debate, noting that if Islam defeats Topuria, critics will once again downplay the win by saying he beat another featherweight. However, Belal believes Arman Tsarukyan right now is the truly deserving contender at lightweight.
Yeah, I mean, it made a lot of sense the way he said it, right? He's like, if he goes down, if Ilia comes up and he beats him, say, oh, you beat another 45er. I think Arman's definitely the deserving contender right now. Obviously, the first fight was close, but I think Islam's grown so much. You've seen with his striking, with his grappling, and everything. And yeah, I think it's definitely going to be on still.
Doubling down on his support for Makhachev, Belal also expressed his confidence in Makhachev's abilities, stating that Islam could easily become the featherweight champion if he chose to. He went further, saying that even at middleweight, Islam could compete with the likes of Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland, the two currently in the title picture, suggesting Makhachev will make them tap out.
Like I said, I've said it before, I think he could be the 185-pound champ easily. Dricus and Strickland, like, those are your two guys that are fighting for the belt. Strickland's gonna try to teep his way to victory. Dricus is gonna shoot on his knees and then throw big winding up punches. Like, I think Islam will take either one of them down and tap them out.
In support of Topuria's position, Renato Moicano shared his thoughts on the lightweight title picture, expressing his desire to see Islam Makhachev take on Ilia Topuria. Moicano acknowledged that Islam might view Topuria as undersized, but reminded fans that Ilia has faced and defeated notable opponents, making the matchup both compelling and legitimate in his eyes.
I think he should fight in Ilia Topuria. In my opinion, that's the matchup that I want to see, you know, because he was saying that Topuria was small, but you have to remember Topuria fought in the 55 before. He knocked out Jay Herbert, that is a tall lightweight. You know, if he could deal with the takedown and the pressure of Islam Makhachev, I think Islam Makhachev will be in trouble. You know, Topuria is one of the best right now. I know he's really young. He needs to. He beat Volkanovski like in the end of his career.
And then you have Gaethje. I don't want to see Gaethje fighting Islam because he lost to Max Holloway. Dustin Poirier is on his last fight. So right now, he's a mess.
Building on this sentiment, Moicano believes that we need to see more of Topuria, and since Ilia vacated his belt for an opportunity at the 155-pound belt, he should be given that shot against Islam for the title.
At the same time, he knocked Max Holloway, so he's really good, but we need to see more, and I think for a champion to step up like that, they should put him for a title, you know. Lightweight right now is a mess. That's why, I don't know, we're not getting any fight news of the champ, of the top 5, and I think it's because Islam is not fighting Topuria.
Adding his voice, Bo Nickel has thrown his support behind the idea of Ilia Topuria facing Islam Makhachev, stating that while it's unclear how the matchups will play out with Topuria moving up a division, the fight would undoubtedly be a fan-friendly spectacle. Nickel emphasized that it would feature two of the top 3 pound-for-pound fighters in the sport right now, making it a must-see clash.
I think that right now, I would love to see a fight between him and Topuria. You know, I don't know what the matchups are going to look like with Topuria moving up to 55, but I would love to see Ilia and Islam match up there. I think it's would be a super fan-friendly fight, and you pit two guys that, in my mind, are, you know, probably top 3, if not top 5, like pound-for-pound best guys out there right now. So I think that that's a fight that it should happen in my mind.
Shifting gears, Topuria hasn't ruled out a mega money matchup. While discussing his future with Joe, he hinted at the possibility of a blockbuster showdown with Conor McGregor, stating that if the UFC offered him that fight before a bout with Islam Makhachev, he wouldn't turn it down. Joe expressed intrigue at McGregor's ability to still be able to sell fights.
Yeah, if they offer me a fight against Conor right now, we'll see. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Why not? I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no.
Just for the numbers. You get a cut of that pay-per-view and it hits 2 million buys.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Why not?
That's the thing about Conor. Is like still.
Yeah.
Even though he might not be the best fighter in the world right now, he's the golden goose.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
That's something
crazy.
that you can't take away
kind
from
of
him.
amazing. you know, he still guarantees that many eyeballs will go to see him.
Not everyone thinks Topuria should or will get the nod next. Grant Dawson believes Arman Tsarukyan should be next for Islam Makhachev, pointing to his win streak, #1 ranking, and the work he's put in. He noted that every fighter faces setbacks, but Tsarukyan has earned his shot.
Personally, I think he should be fighting Arman Tsarukyan. You know, I think Arman's put in the work. I think he's got the win streak going. He's #1 ranked. We've all had injuries. We've all had to back out of fights. We've all had to, you know, let opportunities pass by. I think Arman should be next, just in all fairness.
Adding another layer to the conversation, Jamahal Hill believes Ilia Topuria has what it takes to beat Islam Makhachev, citing his hand speed, striking tricks, and overall fight IQ. Hill stated that if Ilia catches anyone clean, including Islam, he has the power to knock them out.
I believe he's capable of beating Islam. Just what I've seen and personally too, just like hand speed, you know, tricks and the way he plays with his striking game. I believe he's definitely capable of catching Islam. And if he catches anybody, I believe he can knock them out. I believe his power might even carry. Not saying that his size and things like that, he can move up to like those higher weight classes, but if he catches it, the way he hits it, if somebody even in bigger weight classes get like that, he can put them on wobble street.
On the other hand, Justin Gaethje said he's hopeful to get the call for a title shot for himself, expressing doubt that the UFC will grant Arman Tsarukyan the opportunity. However, he acknowledged Ilia Topuria as a potential option in the mix.
It's been a crazy ride, you know. I'm not at the beginning of the journey anymore. It's towards the end. You know, I'm 4-1 in my last 5 fights. You know, only losing to Max Holloway. So yeah, I think I should, you know, we got Oliveira, already lost. Tsarukyan, really, I don't think they're going to want to give it to him. And then Topuria, you know, I can see him giving it to Topuria, so, you know, we'll see what they do. But ultimately, I let my coaches and manager make the choice on who I'm going to fight. I'm hoping it's Makhachev. Outside that, I'm not sure. It's golf course.
Continuing the discussion on Topuria's future, Benail Dariush believes that Ilia will thrive in the lightweight division, praising his impressive skill set. He also expressed interest in seeing Ilia's potential at 155 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, look at his skill set. He can do it all, and he doesn't seem to be that small at 55. I know the one fight he had at 155 was where he was basically in the most danger he's ever been, but I think he'll have success at 155. I do. I'm interested to see how well he'll do against the better wrestlers, the guys who keep shooting and don't mind, you know, don't get tired from trying to take you down.
As UFC brass weigh the options, one thing's clear: this fight could reshape pound-for-pound history. With both men staking their legacies on the line, this fight promises to rewrite the lightweight hierarchy. Regardless of the outcome, one thing is clear: the UFC's blockbuster gamble has never looked more irresistible. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so you never miss the biggest MMA showdowns.